Once upon a world in a time called Brooklyn, I grew up amongst the beautiful breed of blessed brown boys and girls, cradled in the brick and mortar safety of a red and white schoolhouse set atop impenetrable gravel. We grew up on and seemingly out of that hardness and eventually adopted it as our namesake. I'm a man now, but still a proud card-carrying member of that concrete generation who never cared much for sentiment that danced outside of the chalk lines what we defined to be cool. And if you didn't know what that was, well then you were just another fool to never be pitied within the heartlessness of a city that pollinated the same grounds that its children sprouted from, with the very vials of crack that pawned so many of our parents off to the reaper. No wonder the grimness of our grimaces, labeled as society's menaces, which shadows cast across our existences to leave our inner light diminishing. No wonder the rusted silver lining on clouds already gray, the tilted cynical grins. Take it as a token of how truths and lies contend and in a balanced blend on the beautiful beleaguered faces of America's bastard breed. No wonder the callous hearts that grew hard as the streets that we walked upon. But before we ever learned to pave our bitterness into bitumen, before we cemented our childhood pains into our gargoyle-faced adolescence, before we concretized each tear into brittle shards of rock before they ever managed to tumble out of their ducts, we were children once, just babies then, who dressed up in little white gowns and white caps with red tassels to celebrate our entry into a world of false hope and even falser doctrine. At our kindergarten graduation, red brick schoolhouse, blessed brown boys and girls, and the voice of an angel. She told us that we were the future, that we would one day leave, but that we should first be taught well and shown all the beauty that we possessed inside. Gave us a sense of pride. Beautiful mocha brown angel lady. Strangers used to say my mother looked just like her. Walking us through Brooklyn streets in skin Orleanian caramel. Gripping my hands tight amongst jackals that lurked parallel. She was similar to the angel lady whose voice cradled my youth. Who knew what hell she carried well beneath the surface that microphones could never hear, that cameras could never capture. All we saw was the face of a goddess. All we heard, the voice of an angel who told us the greatest love of all was learning to love ourselves. We sang her words, recited them like scripture. She's gone now, back to the heavenly graces from which she came. And I can only hope that on some level she learned to practice what she preached, dear Whitney. You faded before our eyes far too soon. Left us long before your time. Not on February 11, 2012, but on the day that your body ceased to be a temple for you to guard, but instead a cage you had to crack your way out of. The last time I saw you on television, you were a frazzled manic wreck. Your emotions as scattered as your speech. Your time melting away before us like a Dali-esque clock into a Pollock-splattered mess of a life. A work of sabotaged art. Mocha goddess of our youth, crackling before our eyes like porcelain, drifting away in your skin. Perhaps missing the love of distant kin. We loved you, Whitney, but like your mother's cringing face shadowed in shame at too many award show, we could not bear to witness the circus freak that you had become. Love and shame, they rarely occupy the same space. They wax atomic when they meet, and the explosive outcome renders us numb, leaving us to gloss over our apathy ever after and snide jokes and clever laughter, cut from the bowels of our bitterness. So we clown your drug addiction in the same vein as our inoculated innocence, our cynicism, a vaccine against the sickness of sour sentiments, because we've been had one too many times. Been the brunt of this bad joke once too often. All our heroes and sheroes left gilded in coffins. Our matriarchs and patriarchs, minstreled as buffoons, left dead on hotel balconies or caught smoking crack in the rooms. For every cookie-cutter Kodak moment, there's a clandestine conspiracy that looms adjacent. Dead bodies in the attic, slave children in the basement. Hollywood starlet, but on a low be free basin. Landed a free, a dictatorship of Freemason. Governments granting the crack that led to your fall from grace. And it was all too sick a reality show to watch without a wince. So when it came to your illness, few words could we mince, reminding us too much of our father's cold corpses. Old uncles slumped against street corner stores for support. My cousins red in the eyes through the peephole at 4 o'clock in the morning, asking me for gas money when he don't even own no car. Funny, not funny, as your existence became. Before our chuckling mouths, laughing over the pain, tap dancing over the shame, and as the smoke clears, along with our tears, we can but glance at the surface glimpse of goddess that you gave us and bid your great spirit adieu as we find remorse, not so much for the jokes that we cracked to cope, but for the collective joke that crack made of your life and ours, and for how easily we fell for that punchline. Dear Whitney, your body was a temple playing host to a magnitude of sound and spirit the likes of which we've never seen. Your song shall remain evergreen and sing us through seasons to come. We don't know what torturous angles broke your heavenly wings, angel, and turned your temple to a cage you felt you had to flee. But you are finally, from now to life everlasting, free.